tell me, it's how do I want to guide the vehicle. And if I go down and it says, what's my swath width? Well, I've got 3.657 meters swath width. That's 12 feet. Why did I pick 12 feet? Because our spray boom was 12 feet. 4 nozzles, 3 feet per nozzle, or something like that. Yeah, so that's 12 feet. So that's, you put in your swath width. And so that's basically the width of your equipment. You go down and it says pattern type. I put in basic A, B. So A and then B. So that's programmed in. And then create swath on auto turn. Most of you guys could see that instead of programming in, I'm into my next swath, it recognizes when you're turning. And then it increments to the next swath as you turn. So that's an auto turn technique of creating swaths. We did put no headlands, so we don't have to worry about what's happening outside of A and outside of B. Look ahead was set for 1 second, and so I try to get it fairly close. We're not going very fast, so it's looking ahead 1 second in terms of the direction that we're traveling to say where are you going to be in the next second. Boom offset, how far is the boom to the rear, or is this offset one way or the other? And so that's something you can input. Curve logging, we didn't do any of that. DGPS for guidance, I said non-DGPS allowed. That means if we don't get GPS, we're still using that signal to position ourselves to get to do parallel swapping. Okay, and so that's the guidance part. Now if I go over, there's the light bar configuration. How do I want to configure that light bar? If I go down, there's light bar text, current swath number. So that's one of the options to have display on the light bar, what's your current swath number. Space mode, linear. That means that for each of those, the spacing in between each of the LEDs are linear, as opposed to non-linear, meaning they're smaller and then they get larger as it goes out further. So that's how do you want your spacing between your LEDs, linear or non-linear? And then it says, what's my LED spacing? I've registered this at 0.5 meters. So each of, when that first red light shows up, that means you're 0.5 meters off. If 2 red lights are on, that means you're a meter off. 3 red lights, that means you're 3 meters off. Or 1.5 meters, sorry. And that means the end of the boom, it says 9 meters. So I guess if you're way over there, you're pulling 9 meters off. Anything else? Approaching LED. Light bar mount, dash mounted as opposed to roof mounted. So you can actually mount that thing upside down and it will just invert all the letters. This is typical of most light bars. They will ask you these questions and this is what you need to set up. You mean invert the letters for you to be able to read it? To read it, right. So if you just put it upside down, put it up on the roof, and it knows it's upside down. And then display mode, show correction. I think, Jimmy, you said, well, do you want to steer towards the light or away from the light? This says show correction. That means you go towards the light. If you wanted to change that, you would go, what would you do? Hit enter. And go over. Yep. And the other one is show error. So you can either show your correction or show your error. And those are the only 2 options here. Light bar brightness, I set at 5, which is the maximum. You can see that we have problems with the sun with this type of light bar. Alarm was off for swath change, and that's it. So those are the parameters that you need to input into a light bar or any sort of parallel swathing option to drive. Okay, we're heading back. And what we're going to do when we get back is talk a little bit about the lab and what I need you guys to do in the lab. So let me grab that. And then I'll let you hang on to that, and I'll grab this.